Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another replay cast. Today we are looking at the game in the T-54 Mod 1, the Russian Premium Tier 8 medium tank. This is 9.12, but the buffs to this tank were literally 8 increased pen from 175 to 183, so it doesn't really change how this tank plays. Anyways, it does improve it slightly, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty sure introducing IS-3A is a bigger nerf to this than actually buffing the pen by 8mm. So, playing Swamp, spawning south, by far the best spawn on this map. The only way you really lose south spawn on this map is if all your heavy tanks are dropped on their head after being born, and they don't go this side and don't fuck everything over in this side, because it's super easy to do once there is somebody on the J1 area and has flanking shots. It's like the easiest game ever. I've done a review on this and I don't really feel that there's the need to redo it after they buffed the pen. They buffed the pen on pretty much all the fucking Russian 100 mils. It doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it's only 8 penetration anyways, so I don't think there's any reason to revisit this tank at all. What I said applies. I mean, it's not the greatest tank ever. It can have massive games, as we'll find out, but at the same time, it is quite situational, and only the gun can only perform in a pretty close ranges only, otherwise you're just not going to be able to hit anything. And now, bit greedy here maybe to stay here. There is one RD, so this position isn't all that good, but I'm not going to hang around here for much longer, and I'm actually going to go for the flanking. This position can be extremely bad if your team actually is not on the corner there, but we have a lot of tanks there, so I shouldn't worry about that at all, because they should not be able to just climb here and fuck me over. The 110 is trying, but we can just track him for days and he's just gonna die. So that's exactly what we're gonna be doing now. Important thing here is just to not get greedy. Just keep him tracked. He's a terrible player, but he's still in a tier 9, and I don't really want to deal with that on my own frontally. With my lack of pen, I'll be struggling to do any damage to that. Now, maybe I'll get to shoot this Yak Panther. If not, I can still go for the heavy tanks. The Yak Panther gets unspotted, so I'll have to find something better to do. The T-29 dies, the IS-3 dies as well, and we don't really have that much to deal with here anymore. And you can clearly just appreciate how poorly this fucking map is balanced. Like, our positions here are so much better than anything you could ever even imagine on the other side of the map. After this point, we don't want to be pushing into their waffles, just unloading into us, and that's exactly what our team is doing. I'm not really going to fall for that, so I'm going to relocate back to the base. At this point, we should just go away with killing 3 of their tanks and reposition to defend our own base, but instead our team is just pushing in and dying to TTs. Hopefully they'll stop soon, so we still have a chance to win this game, but so far for me the game has been pretty decent. I probably got quite a bit of assistant damage on that T10, as well as doing some damage to the 110 as well. Important thing when positioning this tank is to set up positions where your enemies are going to be up to 200 meters away from you, otherwise your gun is really going to struggle to do any damage without aiming for 3 days, and you don't really want to be aiming for 3 days in tier 9 game with a T-54 mod 1. They do fuck up our zero line, as they always do, so on this map really the key to success on this map is not to go zero line and just shit on their heavies on the 1-2 line and know when it's time to fall back and stop pushing. Get some nice shots here on the side of the Yak Tiger. He didn't really expect me to be here, so I do get to do some damage here to him as well. Yak Tiger 88 frontally though is pretty shitty shot. The only thing you can really hurt is the lower plate, and even then he has to angle it poorly, as the Yak Tiger 88 was the only tank with Tiger chassis that didn't have its lower plate nerfed to 100mm of armor. Every other Tiger 2 light tank you can just shit on, even the Yak Tiger tier 9 you can just shit on the lower plate, but not the Yak Tiger 88, so I want to avoid to really engage that frontally if I can. We'll see if I can help out this T10 with the Oni, but it's likely that Oni is rocking the derp gun and the 110 is gonna die. Even if it is not, the Oni has plenty of pen to just shit on the T10, as we can see. Not much I can really do there. There's no way I'm gonna bother to waste my ammo at that. There's no way I'm gonna do any damage, so I'm not even gonna bother. The Leopard prototype is here now as well. I might get some damage into that now as well, but I do kind of fuck up my timing there and end up doing nothing. pretty shitty engagement this with the Leopard, the Jagdtiger, and the Waffle being somewhere in the background. We can't see the Waffle yet, but he should be somewhere around the general area anyways. And there is a Lorraine on the 0 line as well. That's probably closing in quite quickly as well. So, pretty shitty fight here now. Don't really have the gun depression to gauge these people unless they turn away completely. And there's the Waffle. He's not looking at me though, so we are going to be shooting him. Might load HE here now, and I do for the next shot. Not this shot quite yet, because it's better to just keep shooting than to reload different ammo while already being engaged. I'm gonna actually take this shot. I didn't even mind getting penned, because I can respawn 2 for 1, and it's kind of worth it to respawn 2 for 1 for this guy, especially when I load HE. He did bounce the first shot, and he might be ammo wrecked and fucked, but he does pen 1. I mean, I could have tried to avoid getting shot there, but picking up the kill there I think is more important than avoiding getting shot. And the Leopard fucks up his shot pretty badly as well. And now we should be able to pick him up with a Waffle and all that going for him. And yeah, this fight, he doesn't even have a chance to survive this. As you can notice, I haven't fired further than like 100 meters in this game at all. We do pick up the Leopard, well, the Waffle does. I just did a bunch of damage to him. We build up our damage pretty quickly here. Really close range shots, managed to pen some HE on the Waffle as well. So, building up damage here really quickly. And here's the Lorraine, really high health on him, but he cannot see me, and he's shooting other people. Now he can see me, but it still should not really matter all that much, as he will find it hard to angle against me and IS-3, especially if he's already unloaded and does not have any more shots in his mag. We do manage to land these shots at 400 meters, which is quite lucky on my side. It could have easily fucked these up, especially now when he's hiding behind a corpse or whatever the fuck it is, Artie, I guess. And it seems that the Oni went back, probably together with the T-34. These guys haven't been spotted for like a fucking half a year now. The Artie's gun is right in front of me, but I do get lucky once again, shoot over the gun of the Artie and hit the Lorraine's turret there. Really lucky on my side, and now another shot that lands there. I mean, fully aimed, this gun isn't even that bad, but to get to the fully aimed part, especially when you're moving your turret or your hull at any rate, is gonna be quite tricky. At this point, I didn't really need to move, and I just was able to abuse that and hit more or less every shot I fired, which was quite lucky, as I said, but I mean, it happens. And now the T-34 fucks up his one shot that he probably will be able to shoot here, and now as you can see, I am fully, well, at least fully enough to hit his hull instead of his turret or the ground, and I do bounce the second shot off because, you know, fucking reasons and shit. That is unfortunate, as it kind of puts me into the one-shot range for the other two, well, it's the only tank left. We do manage to do one more shot of damage to the T-34, and we are already a pretty impressive 4.4k for this tank. It's not too bad at all. Now, the only thing we really need in this game is for that fucking T-10 to stay alive so we can get the flanking shots in. The thing about the Oni is that its ass armor is more good enough to bounce my gun flat on, so I need to get his side, or I will probably die there. I might die anyways, as he did put me in one shot. He was using the long gun, so it means that he has 320 alpha damage, so it's not like 100% one shot for him, so I could still go for trying to get lucky there, I guess. And the T-10 dies now, which means that we are pretty much 1v1ing this Oni until the backup arrives, but I'm not really gonna bother to wait till that. Even if he shoots me, even if he rolls high, we're probably still gonna win this game, so it does not actually matter. And yeah, he's trying to get away, and I do get the side shot in, but never lucky. Apart from all those shots on the Lorraines, the HE pens on the Waffle, and all the other things, you know. Never lucky. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. As I said, the IS-3 could still die and make this game actually closer than it should be, but the Waffle is rocking the 12.8. I don't really see how you could fuck it up so badly to lose 1300 health against the tank with that gun and no health at all. It could even load HE if you wanted to, but as I said, it does not actually matter. Pretty cinematic view here of the Waffle bouncing off the shot of the Oni. I probably was not paying any attention, but even the Waffle can flank the Oni, so this is over and GG. And here is the end plate. In the end, I did 4,718 damage, 3,365 assisted, ace tanker, high caliber, and Confederate. After repairs and ammo cost, I still made 152k profit, which is probably the highest I ever gotten in this tank for sure. 1730 base experience, a pretty healthy game, also 2 kills. But yeah, you can see how much potential this tank can have when you engage in close range and you don't really take all that much shots in return. I mean, I did get lucky, as I said, on some of those range shots, but as well, I could have lived at the end and actually got even more experience. But whatever, pretty solid game. Didn't have to worry about the lack of penetration, as most tier 9s were either really bad or Lorraine's, Leopards, and Waffles. So, pretty good matchmaking, even though it was tier 9 and a pretty decent game at the end of it as well. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast, and I'll see you on the next one.